Do you find it challenging when you're working with clients on glute medius exercises to actually get the glute medius? Well, it can be a problem, especially when that TFL wants to take over. So when you're looking at the glute medius has three roles. It's got an anterior portion, a medial portion, and a posterior portion. And so the glute medius can kind of act hand in hand with the TFL. But part of what sets it apart is going to be the pelvic angle. So the TFL is going to really want to take over when the pelvis is in more of an anterior tilt, tilted forward. So that TFL is going to want to lead the way, which is then going to mean when you're trying to do things like sidewalks with a band or hip hikes to get that glute medius working, then that TFL is going to automatically take over, and that's going to be where the person feels it. So one of the tricks I want you to try if you have somebody who has got an overactive TFL and you're trying to get it to calm down is you can try to bring in those hamstrings and a little bit of a posterior tilt before trying to get the glute medius to kick in. So one way you can do that is on the wall in a wider stance. So instead of your knees being at 90, hips and knees being at 90-90, so instead of that right angle, if you open that angle up a little bit, more like 120, then we're going to get more glute medius over glute max for that type of abduction clam type of activity. So if you put your feet on the wall and pull down, tucking the bottom under, going into a little bit of a posterior tilt, that's going to tell that TFL, hey, calm down. Now, sometimes people have really dominant TFLs, and it is very challenging, even in this position, even thinking about the hamstrings, even thinking about that posterior tilt to get it to calm down, and that alone is going to take practice. So if that happens, when they have their feet on the wall and they pull down and they still get TFL, what you can do is try putting their feet on a chair instead, so there's no pushing, because sometimes that TFL wants to go hand in hand with the quad. So if they're pushing on the wall more than they're pulling down on the wall, then that can also be a signal for that rectus femoris and the TFL to take over. So try putting their feet up on a chair, pulling down with the heels, and make sure that they are tucking their bottom under when they do it, and they're not just lifting straight up, because if they lift straight up, sometimes they'll maintain that anterior tilt, and then that TFL will just continue to fire. So start there, try that little bit of a posterior tilt, then try pressing out on the band and see if they don't feel more glute medius and glute max with that approach versus something where they're on their feet and it's a little bit harder to control their pelvic tilt while trying to get that glute medius to work.